Good morning at 6:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, way down yonder at the other end of the gopher-shaped table. Erin has local news up next.
Expansion of alcohol sales in a part of Bossier Parish. We'll talk more about that. Volunteer group gets the boot from Bossier Animal Control. That's coming up, too. And a plane crash at Regional Airport. Thankfully, everyone's okay.
Erin gave me this to read, and I'm sure she'll explain in the first segment. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. 50,000 watts of misinformation.
I love that.
I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm sure she'll be able to explain.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a pretty big deal to her. We'll find out what it is. Fletcher, sports, traffic, and weather, and it's all coming up this hour right here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Plane crash at a local airport. Matt Parker with the details.
A private plane had to make an emergency crash landing at Shreveport Regional Airport Wednesday morning. The plane went down around 11 a.m. According to reports, the pilot was the only person on board and only suffered minor injuries in the crash. The incident remains under investigation. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A petition making the rounds in Bossier Parish pushing to expand alcohol sales in District 2, the Houghton area. The petition aims to allow businesses in the parish to sell beer and wine with more than 6% alcohol content. Proponents say business and tax revenue is being lost because people are shopping outside the area. After 6 years, the volunteer group Friends of Bossier City Animal Control will no longer be working with the shelter. A spokesperson from the city says the group was not properly managing their social media accounts, which was causing problems. She went on to say Bossier City will still use volunteers to help run and manage the facility. Caddo Sheriff Steve Prater says people need to know more about what's included in the Justice Reinvestment Program in our state. The sheriff says we needed some change, but this measure goes way too far.
Well, I think it's wonderful. We're not the prison capital of the world anymore. That's great. And I'll be the first to tell you that the Department of Corrections did need to make some changes. They certainly needed to improve some of the things that they were doing, and this bill allows them to do some of the things that administratively they could have been doing all along.
You can see the full language of the reform effort at KEELnews.com. One man recovering after being shot Wednesday night. According to investigators, it happened at an apartment complex on East Stoner. 3 men were arguing about mechanical work done on a car when 2 of the men pulled out guns, shooting the victim. The man was hit in the hip and backside. His wounds are said to be non-life-threatening. Brianna Savannah arrested for an early morning hit and run that left a man dead. According to police, Savannah allegedly hit and killed Danny Reed Wednesday morning on MLK and sped off. At this time, Savannah's being charged with felony hit and run and driving with a suspended license. The new school year has started, and one of the big changes this year is how school performance is evaluated. Bessie member Tony Davis says the standards had to change because we're doing a disservice to our children.
The very real evidence of the fallacy and something like that is when you imagine a parent whose child has graduated from high school as an honor student and an A student, and they go to a rigorous college, maybe out of state, for instance, or even in state, and they realize they're in remediation classes or they're not the same level that their peers are at.
Big music festival in downtown Shreveport looks to celebrate the city's rich music history. The 3rd annual Arklatex Music Heritage Festival is being held this weekend at Festival Plaza. A task force is talking about auto insurance rates and how high they are in Louisiana. Representative Kirk Talbot says the task force wants to address the elephant in the room, keeping insurance companies away.
They won't write insurance here if they can't make money. The damage awards are, in a lot of cases, double what they are everywhere else. So it costs insurance companies twice as much to do business here.
Louisiana has the highest auto insurance rates in the nation. President Trump continues to deny wrongdoing, tweeting before dawn today that special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation is a witch hunt and that there was no collusion with Russia during the election. The replica Ferrari used in the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off will be auctioned off on live TV this weekend. It will be roughly one of 600 cars sold during the Mecum auctions. The Ferris Bueller car will be sold Saturday at 2 o'clock our time. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 6 o'clock, it's 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Traffic for the first time for Thursday. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got to clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 southbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, seasonably hot with sun and a high of 96 today, clear, low 74 tonight, plenty of sunshine and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
One. This is.
Are you going to be okay?
Is this going to be okay? I'm a little reticent to start this segment.
I don't know. I don't know.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 12 after 6 o'clock. Okay, so I'm at the golf course yesterday, and I start getting texts from you, texts forwarded to you or to me from Dodie Horton. One from Mike Johnson. Mm-hmm. Then you and Matt get into this back and forth about something
that
happened yesterday. at the Bossier Chamber of Commerce's legislative, what was it?
Summit.
Legislative Summit at CenturyLink Center, and it was a luncheon deal, and you're going to have to...
sold out. It's a big crowd.
You're going to have to help me out here.
It is a big event where lawmakers get together. They talk about the successes of the recent legislative session and of the past year, and there's lots of bigwigs speaking. You had Mike Johnson there.
Right.
You had a Mark Cooper guy. I think he's the governor's chief of staff.
Yeah.
You had Don Pearson was there, who's economic development secretary.
Is this Cooper guy? This is the one that you and Matt and you and Miss Doty and you. Evidently, this Cooper guy crossed some sort of line in your mind yesterday.
Well, I had to go see it because you know it's like the telephone game. You hear, I got texts from several people. Doty was the first, but several other people texted me as well and said they heard this. And I thought, well, let me go listen to it and see what he said and see for myself, because I was told that he made some derogatory remarks about KEEL, our radio station.
What is his job again? I'm sorry.
He's the chief of staff for Governor John Bel Edwards. Okay. Governor couldn't be there, so he sent his chief of staff to give kind of a keynote address about our successes.
So this is probably a speech that the governor has seen, that a number of members of his staff have looked at and okayed.
No,
this guy probably doesn't just go out. You think it's some haphazard?
No, he did his own deal.
You think so?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, I would virtually guarantee you that people on the governor's staff,
they did not know he was going to say that.
Don't go out and give speeches without them knowing what's in it.
Well, they knew here's the bullet points. They have bullet points.
So you think this guy was a renegade, a lone wolf, as it were?
Do I think the governor's people wished he hadn't said what he said? Probably so. Probably wished he hadn't said.
So when he leaves the governor's mansion or wherever his office happens to be, when he leaves, what do they call it, the fifth floor, the fourth hallway, the third bathroom on the left?
Yeah.
Whatever the hell they call it in the Capitol building.
Right.
That when he goes out to give a speech, this Mark Cooper guy, that nobody eyeballs his speech. This is what you're telling me, that nobody on the governor's staff, no one else, eyeballs his speech and says, maybe you shouldn't say this, or maybe that's really good.
No, they don't eyeball each other's speeches. They may give them bullet points, but they don't go over it word for word.
I bet he did have to get his speech approved. But this quote-unquote horrible action by Mr. Cooper was literally just like, sometimes you make a toss-away statement while rambling. It was sort of one of those.
Every day.
Yeah.
We do this every day.
So what did Mr. Cooper...
We're kind of morons in here,
What did Mr. Cooper do that sort of has...
He kicked my baby.
Has what?
He kicked my baby in my baby's school assembly in front of all my baby's friends. He kicked my baby.
You're going to have to explain what you mean.
Okay. KEEL is my radio station. This is where I make my living. This is where you make your living. He got on stage and said...
In front of a lot of important people.
And our people. My people.
Our home slices.
This is my backyard. These people care about me and you. They may not agree with us. They care about you and I.
So what did he do?
He said...
Well, do we have the soundbite?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
we
hold
do.
on.
You listen and judge.
And even though, again, this gets back to a lot of the misinformation that's put out there on social media and on KEEL radio about the governor.
Okay, wait a second.
Misinformation that's put out there by KEEL radio.
I could you play that for me again, just so I can get a sense of how bad it really is.
All right.
And even though, again, this gets back to a lot of the misinformation that's put out there on social media and on KEEL radio about the governor.
Hold on a second.
This goes so much further.
What do you mean?
Because I had a conversation all afternoon with people from the governor's office and other state leaders, etc.
Now,
and I said, this makes us upset. This makes me a little bit ticked. My first conversation to the governor's chief communications officer.
Pardon me just a second. Every single day, there are at least 5 to 10 Facebook messages. every single day
Mm-hmm.
on the Shreveport Security Systems text line at 318-392-1884.
Mm-hmm.
There are texts telling us. We get emails. Our boss gets emails.
Oh, big time.
Every single day telling us how we're wrong, we're stupid,
Sure.
we're misguided, we're racist, we're closed-minded, we don't understand, we're
Right.
bigoted. The list goes on and on.
Yes.
What was it about this specific instance? In fact, when we went through that sort of Stephanie Lynch controversy
Right.
about a month or so ago, and I said, you said to me, does that bother you? I said, no.
Well, let me ask you, who called us immediately when one of us questioned whether or not the governor was a moron? Who called us immediately when one of us called the governor insane? We immediately got calls from the governor's people. Y'all, that was irresponsible. That was over the line. Y'all crossed the line. You shouldn't have done that. He's the governor of the state after all. Blah, 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 blah. And I did apologize. I came on this big monstrosity of a radio station and apologized. I didn't call him a moron. I asked if he were a moron, but anyway, sorry. Was disrespectful. So I'm sitting here in my jammies in the afternoon after my nap, and my phone is just blowing the freak out. And I said, you know what? Tit for tat. Tit for tat.
So-
you send your people out and throw a grenade at me, or you throw fuel on my fire.
So you called?
I wanted to know, do you know he said that, A? And then B, why would he do that in my backyard?
Yes, Parky.
You know what this is? It all clicked in my head. This is payback.
Well-
but it's worse. It's worse.
Hold on a
Wait till
second.
you hear how they explain what he meant.
Let's-
That's not what he meant.
Let's go to break. And when we
I'm
come
gonna
back,
go crazy.
you can review for us your chat
Guess what?
with the folks in Baton
And
Rouge.
guess what?
What?
Mr. Cooper Duper,
Yeah?
he's going to join us this morning.
What time?
7:40. Maybe he'll give us some more misinformation.
19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 southbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Seasonably hot with sun and a high of 96 today. Clear, low 74 tonight. Plenty of sunshine and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Twenty-three past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Ohio State head football coach Urban Meyer will miss the Buckeyes' first 3 games this season, serving a suspension for mishandling domestic assault allegations involving one of his assistant coaches. The school also admonished Meyer for misrepresenting how much and when he knew about wide receiver coach Zach Smith's alleged acts against his then-wife, Courtney. Ohio State Athletic Director Gene Smith will miss work without pay as well, receiving a suspension from August 31st to September 16th for his role. A weekend full of high school jamborees gets underway tonight in Coshada when Loyola meets Red River. The JV squads take the field at 6, followed by varsity action. The Astros bats came alive in a 10-7 win in Seattle Wednesday afternoon. Martin Maldonado and Tyler White each homered and had 3 hits thanks to Texas' 4-2 win in Oakland. Houston climbed back into first place, leading the A's by 1 game heading into the weekend. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
I'm just scared.
I know.
Going down an unexplored path here.
Rabbit hole.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel, 25 past 6 o'clock. Robert and Erin. So this guy, Governor John Bell Edwards, what's his chief aide or something?
Chief of staff, Mark Cooper.
His name is Mark Cooper. Gave a talk yesterday at the Legislative Forum presented by Bossier Chamber of Commerce at CenturyLink Center.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, do I misunderstand? He said that Keel spreads misinformation.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, we can run it again if you want.
Yeah.
Matt, do you have it right there?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
And even though, again, this gets back to a lot of the misinformation that's put out there on social media and on KEEL radio about the governor.
Yeah, misinformation
put out there by the governor.
Now
about the governor.
Now, you got a little upset.
Yeah.
And so you, in your state of upsettedness,
yeah, panty twisted,
called the governor's office.
I called the governor's chief communications person, who is the one who always calls me when we're critical of the governor, and we do something critical of the governor. And she questions why I do it.
So,
we have a great relationship. Why are you doing that? Well, we have a great relationship. Why is he doing that?
How did this conversation go?
I started out with, why is Mark Cooper throwing fuel on the fire up here in Shreveport, right in my backyard? She's like, what?
So
Tell
you
me what
came
happened.
out throwing haymakers.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
So there was no, like building up to this.
How are you today? No, there was no sucky-uppy. No sucky-uppy today. No. Why is he throwing fuel on the fire? Well, she didn't know anything about it. Didn't see the speech. Hadn't seen it yet. Hadn't heard anything about it. I said, my freaking phone is blowing up with lawmakers texting me about the governor saying KEEL spreads misinformation. Now, I had already gone to find it, and looked it up and found it to make sure it was
Played what
accurate.
You just heard what you just heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because I'm not going to go call the governor and throw him on, and swing punches at him if it's not true. So I went and checked it out, found it was true, and she goes, well, let me know where it is, and I'll go look at it, and I'll try to figure out what happened. And I said, schedule Mark for me tomorrow, if you can. I don't think he's going to be available. No, I don't think he'll be available. Like, okay, well, that's fine. I'm not happy with this. Robert's not happy with this. It's, it's not going to be a good day for you guys. I'm just warning you ahead of time.
Robert loves this.
I know Robert loves this.
This is awesome.
I know.
The more criticism, are you kidding?
So then she called me back 3 or 4 times. I actually took a late nap yesterday, so I missed a couple of the calls, but called her back, late in the afternoon, in the evening.
You start yelling again?
We got into a little. No, there's no yelling. I mean, we're fairly respectful, but she goes, what are y'all? That's not what he meant. Okay, what did he mean? He meant some of the guests you have on the air spread misinformation. I said, that's not what he said. Some of the people you have on the air spread misinformation. Well, we typically never put callers, just random callers on the air. So they're talking about our guests, which would be our state lawmakers, our Dodie Hortons, our Alan Seabaws, our people that come on and are critical of the governor. So that's who he says he's talking about. But he doesn't say that. He says KEEL is spreading misinformation, not the guests you might hear on KEEL are spreading misinformation. And I told her that. I said, that's not what he said. And, to be honest, we could tell you a lot of things we think the governor's spreading misinformation about. LSU football maybe? Can we talk about that, Shauna? Oh, no, that's not misinformation. Wait a minute. Come on. We're going to end LSU football? And you're telling me that's not misinformation? That's not misinformation. That was a real possibility as the financial situation in our state. I said, hang on a minute. I got a little hostile here. I said, are you telling me the governor wouldn't take that statement back today if he could? You and I both know, and this is a direct quote, you and I both know he would take that statement back today in a heartbeat if he could.
And she said,
oh, he stands by everything he said. I was like, oh, come on. I said, that I'm not buying what you're selling.
Hang on, kid. We got to go to break. There's more to this, right?
OMG, yes.
I'll take that as a yes. 629, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Local.
Can't buy this stuff.
Told you we wouldn't need much else this morning. Just open her mic and lean back like a Gallagher concert with more words.
Here comes the watermelons.
Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 southbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Seasonably hot with sun and a high of 96 today. Clear, low 74 tonight. Plenty of sunshine and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
information. KEEL News now.
Small private plane went down right after takeoff at Shreveport Regional Airport. Spokesman Mark Crawford says the pilot took off about 10:45 Wednesday, but immediately discovered she had engine trouble. She was forced to make an emergency landing. She was not seriously hurt. A push to expand alcohol sales in the Houghton area underway. Matt Parker with that.
A petition is making the rounds in Bossier Parish pushing to expand alcohol sales in District 2. The petition aims to allow businesses in the parish to sell beer and wine with more than 6% alcohol. Proponents say that business and tax revenue is being lost because people are shopping outside the area. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Bossier Parish officially on board with a plan to build a new access gate to Barksdale Air Force Base. The police jury voted in favor of signing a cooperative agreement with the state to help fund the project. The parish has committed to paying $3 million of the $90 million price tag. Bossier City and NLCOG will spend about $12 million. Caddo Sheriff Steve Prater highly critical of the governor's criminal justice reform efforts. He says we do need some change, but this measure goes way too far. We asked the sheriff if programs are now in place as promised to help offenders get back into society.
No. We're designing the bus while we're driving the bus. And somebody's going to get killed. People are getting killed when you start operating like that.
You can see the full language of the reform effort at KEELnews.com. After 6 years, the volunteer group Friends of Bossier City Animal Control will no longer be working with the shelter. Spokesperson from the city says the group was not properly managing their social media accounts, which was causing some problems. The new school year has started, and more resources are available for parents and teachers through the Louisiana Believes website. We asked Bessie member Tony Davis about troubled schools. Caddo Parish has two of them, Atkins and Queensboro, in jeopardy of being taken over by the state.
I know that from where I sit, I'd like to help the district as much as possible take care of its own schools rather than turn schools over to the state, which is operating out of Baton Rouge, a long way from Caddo. If we can help provide the assistance that we need to Superintendent Goree and the district there, I'd much rather see that occur.
Davis says Bessie is working with the local school system to help improve the schools. Hurricane Lane chugging towards Hawaii, packing strong winds and expected to dump as much as 24 inches of rain on some parts of the island. Meteorologist Adam Klotz says the impact of the storm is starting to be felt there.
This storm beginning to see those outer bands of rain beginning to hit some of the islands. Some of this heavy rain, but the real heavy stuff still a little ways away. Winds still at 145 miles an hour.
Hawaii's governor has requested a presidential disaster declaration. A massive recall of Ford's cords. More from Jill Nato.
Ford's recalling the charging cords for over 50,000 electric and hybrid cars. The problem? Those cords could start fires in electrical outlets. The recall applies to cords for Focus Electrics, Fusion Energy, and CMA Energy plug-in hybrids. Those vehicles made between 2012 and 2015. The company says plugging those cords into outlets that are damaged or not on a dedicated circuit can cause the outlets to overheat. 4 fires known so far, but no injuries reported. Jill Nato, Fox News.
Plenty of off-the-field news for the LSU Tigers this month. 3 players suspended because of arrests, and 2 quarterbacks have left the team. Linebacker Devin White is expecting LSU to have one of the best defenses in the country. White says the Tigers have the nation's top defensive coordinator, Dave Aranda, who has opened up the playbook. Plus, he says the unit is filled with great players.
We got some big name guys, and we got some guys that's going to make some names for themselves. But the thing that we rely on is just all 11 guys to the ball playing with, great effort. And I think that's what make us be a dominant defense because we play so well together.
Tigers open the season September 2nd against Miami in Dallas. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
1017. I just can't. I'm. It's like I can barely talk today in anticipation of you flame throwing down there. 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Okay, so you're on the phone with the governor's office, literally yelling at this poor woman
I'm
because
not yelling. There was no yelling.
Some guy up here
You are so stretching this.
Because the governor's janitor came up here.
It was not that's rude.
I'm just and he comes up here and he says Keel spreads misinformation. I kind of take that as a compliment.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, it's but you and I react to things differently. So this has got you all your intestines are all twisted.
Well, for me, when you're going to call me, when I question if the governor's a moron, when you call the governor insane, and you're going to call me and get all upset.
And turnabout is fair play, as the saying.
And then you send a guy out, and he says in front of my crowd, my people in my backyard,
that you suck.
That I spread misinformation.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm
a little upset. I know you are too.
So you've got this woman on the phone, and you're yelling at her.
I'm not yelling. That is not right.
Hold on. Before you
no
continue
yelling.
with your narrative, her direct quote in the text message she sent us is, "I got to yell at the governor's people, and damn, it felt good."
Well, I just got to chew them out. I didn't yell.
She was a little worked up. She's occasionally giving, and it was all caps.
Yeah, it was not all caps.
So look. We were going to replay Steve Prater in the next segment. Why don't we bag that? We'll play Mr. Steve a little bit later in the morning.
Okay.
When we come back, you can pick up the story of you not yelling at the governor's office.
I didn't yell at him.
Because
there was no yelling.
We've gotten a couple of texts. It's funny.
It's a business relationship.
Right now, you are, to make the point that you weren't yelling at the governor's people yesterday, you're lowering your voice now. That doesn't, she goes, I wasn't yelling.
She knew I was upset. Trust me.
I know. That's what you're denying.
She knew that.
Hold on.
I don't call her for just any reason.
Just hold your horses. We'll get...
And since you've called the governor insane,
look at me.
We're kind of blacklisted by him.
Look at me.
Which is okay. I'm good with that.
Look at me.
I wonder if we'll be blacklisted during election year.
I don't work for the governor. You don't have to yell at me. I'm on your side here. Matt's with you.
Why did he do that?
Hold up.
Because you're insane.
We'll finish the story when we get back.
Oh.
When we get back, just hold the thought.
I'm going to need to straighten my panties out.
You've got this woman on the phone.
Yeah.
And you're not yelling at her.
Not yelling.
Much. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 southbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Seasonably hot with sun and a high of 96 today. Clear, low 74 tonight. Plenty of sunshine and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
$17 away from 7 o'clock, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, Shreveport Security. Shreveport's.
You're all fumbling and aiding.
You're throwing me off my game.
I know.
Basically, because Matt said you're so into this, you're so on edge this morning about this governor's thing, that Matt said if you go to the Keel Facebook page and you turn down the volume and you just watch your body.
It's hilarious.
He said it's like watching someone. He said it looks like the bath salts have kicked in.
Oh,
you're rubbing your forehead. You're kind of swaying back and forth.
Looks like the Gene Krupa story in Detox. Okay, from the Shreveport Security Systems text line.
Are they blowing me up?
318-392-1884. One says that you should demand an apology, a public apology from the governor's office.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Here's another. Calling you misinformation. While they were selling us a sales tax increase and calling it a tax reduction makes no sense whatsoever. Edwards is a failed leader, and his people are going to try to discredit anyone who dares call him out. I say wear it with honor, and then bury them with bombs of truth. Come at them so hard, they'll be crying for mercy. So, when you weren't yelling at the governor's...
I didn't yell.
Okay, when
If you're just joining us, Mark Cooper, the governor's chief of staff, spoke at the legislative summit
How many
in Bossier.
people were there?
I don't know. It was sold out.
Say,
I would imagine the crowd like the Bossier Chamber banquet. A few hundred.
750 to 1,000.
I would imagine
it's
a big crowd.
room.
Yeah.
It's the entire floor. When the Bossier Chamber does a luncheon or dinner at CenturyLink Center, it's on the whole floor.
I think that's where it was held too. It looked like it anyway, from what I saw. And Mr. Cooper was one of the speakers. He was, I guess, the keynote speaker representing the governor. And he got up there and touted the governor's successes, and he was pointing out lawmakers who've helped him do this and do that, and for the Shreveport-Bossier region, for Barksdale, blah, 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 blah. And he was doing all that stuff.
Yes.
And it was nice and sweet and dandy.
What was that noise again?
Blah, 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 blah.
That's what I thought.
And then at some point he said, despite the misinformation you might see on social media or hear on KEEL radio, play him again. Just here's his quote.
Hold on, I gotta get there.
Oh, God, my bad. This goober. Mark Cooper.
And even though, again, this gets back to a lot of the misinformation that's put out there on social media and on KEEL radio about the governor.
So you call the governor's office, but you're not yelling.
No, I wasn't
So
yelling.
pick up the conversation.
I said, Shauna, why is Mark Cooper up here pouring fuel on the fire?
Where I want you to pick it up is from, he'd take back the LSU football statement if he could, and she said, oh, no, he stands by
He
that.
stands by that statement. That was a real possibility as we were facing a budget crisis in our state.
So then you got
and
to
I said, so we're going to put nursing home patients on the curb? So we're going to end SNAP benefits? Are you telling me that's not misinformation? Oh, no, Erin, that was real. Those were real possibilities that we could have been facing if we didn't fix the budget. The governor stands by those comments. And you're telling me the governor's never put out misinformation, but you have a guy coming here saying we put out misinformation. And he didn't. And her whole point was, her calling me back was kind of you didn't hear it quite how you heard it. She said, he's saying...
Pardon me just a second.
This is where I'm like...
Hold on. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but was she telling you what you going to believe? Me or your own lying ears?
Yeah. She said he was saying some of the people you have on spread misinformation. I said he didn't say that. He clearly didn't say that. He said the misinformation you hear on KEEL radio. Yeah, you hear some of our guests talk bad about the governor. You hear you and I occasionally talk bad about the governor. So who's he talking about? And I said, is Mr. Cooper going to be available? We would like to talk to him. She said, he will do it. What time do you need him? And so we set it up for 7:40 this morning, where he's going to explain what he meant.
So what's your first question?
Why would you do that? Why would you go in front of a home crowd?
Erin's first question. You idiot.
Yeah, you moron. No, not
Are you
idiot.
an idiot?
No. Are you a moron?
That's already been used.
Coming in front of our audience, our crowd, and seriously, not thinking I'm going to hear about it within seconds of it happening? I mean, I heard about it. I'm still at lunch myself somewhere else when I get the texts. He's still on the podium, probably.
We heard from, among others, State Representative Dodie Horton.
Mm-hmm.
We heard from, among others, Congressman Mike Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck, kids?
I know. I'm full.
I think
I'm flummersgasted.
I think your first question is a good one. I think maybe you should pump the brakes on it just a little bit.
I just don't understand.
I think we're going to handle this the same way that when Miss Stephanie came in. I think it's going to be you, like it was you and her, and I just sort of reffed. I think this is you and this guy, and I'll sort of referee the tumult.
I mean, rule number 1 of PR: don't go out there in someone's own backyard and pee on their trees.
I beg your pardon? No, never mind. 649, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. And he was indoors, too. Hey, that's a house plant. It's real. 649, here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on that major accident on I-220 westbound between Benton Road and North Market. And we're looking at some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near the on-ramp to I-49 south. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
.652, good morning. It's 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Here's Tim. Here's sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Ohio State head football coach Urban Meyer will miss the Buckeyes' first 3 games this season, serving a suspension for mishandling domestic assault allegations involving one of his assistant coaches. The school also admonished Meyer for misrepresenting how much and when he knew about wide receiver coach Zach Smith's alleged acts against his then-wife, Courtney. Ohio State Athletic Director Gene Smith will miss work without pay as well, receiving a suspension from August 31st to September 16th for his role. A weekend full of high school jamborees gets underway tonight in Coshada when Loyola meets Red River. The JV squads take the field at 6, followed by varsity action. The Astros bats came alive in a 10-7 win in Seattle Wednesday afternoon. Martin Maldonado and Tyler White each homered and had 3 hits thanks to Texas' 4-2 win in Oakland. Houston climbed back into first place, leading the A's by 1 game heading into the weekend. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
6:55. It's 101.7 FM. It's 101. I can't get through the call letters this morning. I can't get.
I've got you all flabbergasted.
I'm cringing in my 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, so more on the governor's people and what they said about Keel and us spreading misinformation just after 7 o'clock.
And guess what? Guess who I'm having lunch with today?
Who's that?
The governor's wife.
Seriously? Well, you're going to the meeting.
Well, yeah, I'm sure I'll meet her.
So you're going to stand up and throw a roll in her direction?
Misinformation!
You're going to throw a roll
when
at her?
She speaks, I'm going to go, fake news!
Really? You're
fake news? No, I'm not.
Going to catcall her down there, Mark Shapiro or Ben Shapiro?
No, it's going to be fun. It's at East Ridge. It's the YWCA Big Women Who Care Share Luncheon.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be a hot time.
It'll be fun. You could make it memorable.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up just after 7 o'clock. Who do we have at 7:40? Oh, the Crawford guy, Cooper guy.
Mark Cooper.
Mark Cooper.
Super Cooper.
What is his exact title?
He's a chief of staff, I think.
For the governor's office,
yeah.
and he was the one who was here yesterday and said that we spread misinformation.
Yeah, he did.
Chief duty head, I think is what she said.
Yeah.
I don't think she said that, but
I have a text message.
Maybe he can send us a business card. 6:56, here's Rush on Keel.
On July 18th, Molly Tibbetts, a 20-year-old University of Iowa student, went for a run. She was never seen alive again. On Tuesday, Christian Bahena Rivera, a 24-year-old illegal immigrant from Mexico, was charged with her murder. If convicted, he faces life in prison. Rivera claims that he blacked out during the abduction and murder. Now, the same leftist pundits who go wall-to-wall on gun control after school shootings demand that we not politicize this case. They're calling it an unfortunate, isolated incident. The same leftist cable networks that organize town halls to exploit traumatized school shooting survivors, blame the NRA, and humiliate politicians they don't like, won't find any room in their broadcast schedules to air a town hall for Molly. And the same elected Democrats who brazenly support open borders and sanctuary cities and who advocate endlessly for dreamers, well, they won't say one word about Molly Tibbetts' dreams, which are so brutally, needlessly wiped out. To them, she's just that girl in Iowa that Fox News is obsessed with. That's what they say. Okay, folks, the dog days of summer are here, but autumn leaves will soon be falling. That means it's time to start gearing up for all the work that needs to be done on your land. And my good friends at Mahindra want to help. Now, if you're looking for your first tractor or to trade up from an old one, Mahindra has a workhorse for everybody and every job. In fact, Mahindra offers a full line of subcompact, compact, and utility tractors backed by a 5 or 7 year powertrain warranty. And don't forget about Mahindra's rugged utility vehicles available in single cab or crew cab. Now is the time, folks. Now is the time to learn more about Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor company, or find your dealer at MahindraUSA.com.
Take advantage of rock bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at Kelly Tractor and Equipment in Longview or visit kellytractor.net. That's kellytractor.net.
6:58, 101. Ooh, just changed. 6:59, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Fox News is just a couple of seconds away right now. Ruben, one more traffic update for the 6 o'clock hour.
Still keeping an eye on that major accident on I-220 westbound between Benton Road and North Market. And we're looking at some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near the on-ramp to I-49 south. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, seasonably hot with sun and a high of 96 today, clear, low 74 tonight, plenty of sunshine and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning. It's 3 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Way down there, Erin has local news coming up next.
Going to talk about an alcohol ordinance that some are talking about in our community. Also, some changes to Bossier Animal Control. And a plane goes down at the regional airport. Luckily, no one's seriously hurt.
Who's this Mark Cooper guy who was here yesterday for the legislative luncheon at CenturyLink Center, and what exactly did he say? What did he say about KEEL that's got Erin's head about to explode?
I'm going to be all right.
And Shreveport needs a slogan. Erin has decided.
And we do. We need a new slogan.
If we have one, we need a new one, and we'll give you a chance.
Yeah.
Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour right here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
A private plane had to make an emergency landing at Shreveport Regional Airport Wednesday morning. The plane went down about 11 a.m. According to reports, the pilot was the only person on board, and she suffered only minor injuries. A petition making the rounds in Bossier Parish pushing to expand alcohol sales in District 2, the Houghton area. The petition aims to allow businesses in the parish to sell beer and wine with more than 6% alcohol content. Proponents say business and tax revenue is being lost because people are shopping outside the area. Volunteer group booted from the animal shelter. Matt Parker with that.
After 6 years, the volunteer group Friends of Bossier City Animal Control will no longer be working with the shelter. A spokesperson from the city says that the group was not properly managing their social media accounts, which was causing problems. She went on to say that Bossier City will still use volunteers that help run and manage the facility. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Youngsters back in class for the new school year. One major change this year is how the schools are being evaluated. The requirements are now tougher. We asked Bessie member Tony Davis about troubled schools. Caddo Parish has two of them eligible for takeover by the state, Atkins and Queensboro. Are they in jeopardy of that happening?
Well, I wouldn't say that they're that close in the sense that we've worked with the superintendent and the system there for the transformation zone, and that's a model that we're looking at through ESSA in the sense that we have said, look, let's work with the local districts as much as we can.
More resources are available for parents and teachers through the Louisiana Believes website. You can get to that at KeelNews.com. One man recovering after being shot twice last night. Investigators say the shooting happened at an apartment complex on East Stoner. Police say three men were arguing about mechanical work on a car when two pulled out guns, shooting the victim. The man was struck in the hip and backside. His wounds are said to be non-life-threatening. Brianna Savannah arrested for an early morning hit and run that left a man dead. According to police, Savannah allegedly hit and killed Danny Reed Wednesday morning on MLK and sped off. At this time, Savannah's being charged with felony hit and run and driving with a suspended license. Caddo Sheriff Steve Prater says people need to know more about what's included in the Justice Reinvestment Act. We asked the sheriff about the different opinions about the recidivism rates.
If you got pimples and you call them measles or you call them freckles, nothing's going to change. You still got pimples. And we're just changing the names of some of these things.
Prater's highly critical of the governor's criminal justice reform efforts. He says we did need some change, but this measure goes way too far. You can see the full language of the reform package at KeelNews.com. The Department of Health urging residents to take precautions against mosquitoes and the spread of West Nile. This coming on the heels of news the state has the most cases of the virus in the country this year, with 53 human cases so far. including 2 deaths. Those that contract the virus may be asymptomatic, experience flu-like symptoms, or even the most severe symptoms with neuroinvasive disease. State entomologist Dr. Raul Retard says the number of cases can vary from year to year.
2002 to 2006, we had a lot of West Nile almost every year. Then it went way down. 2012 was a high year. Then it went down. This year it's going to be fairly high.
He says the numbers of cases depends on various conditions pertaining to the weather. As emergency shelters opened, rain began to pour and cell phone alerts went out as the approaching hurricane in Hawaii started to feel real. Hurricane Lane forecast to continue its northwest turn into the islands Thursday. Thousands of folks still trying to get off the islands. A middle school teacher who moonlights as a pole dance instructor has been suspended by a North Carolina school district, but she is threatening legal action. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on that major accident on I-220 westbound between Benton Road and North Market. And we're looking at some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near the on-ramp to I-49 south. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, seasonably hot with sun and a high of 96 today, clear, low 74 tonight, plenty of sunshine and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
KEEL, Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 12 past 7 o'clock. That KEEL app is a free download and an awesome way to listen or lesson, presented by Office Furniture Source. Okay, so yesterday we had Chris Evans. Chris Allen Evans is his new showbiz moniker, his new acting. Well, actually, what did he say? He's been in more than 40 movies now.
Yeah.
Actor, director, writer. See, Film Prize is coming up the weekend, well, the whole week of October 3 through 7. And it is expanded and better than ever. And it's the website, as you'll hear in the chat yesterday, is prizefest.org. So Chris Allen Evans, whom we've known for like 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
And he has a movie that he wrote and directed and acts in the final 20. And he brought a couple of other folks. What was the fellow's name? Hold on. Well, we introduced them in the interview.
You bet. It was so interesting.
Chris came in here, as he is prone to do.
He was on fire.
The boy was like a hurricane.
The mayors of Shreveport, Robert and Erin, that's what should be happening right now.
Whoa.
Guys, you serve an important role in this community.
That's so sweet.
You have to help us decide who our next mayor will be. You have to educate us on who the next Shreveport mayor will be. And if it's not you two, I don't know what we're going to do.
Says the guy who lives in Houghton.
Also, can we get Matt a raise? Jeez, he's got 7 computers over here. What is going on?
Yeah, we really.
Come on. This guy's got comic books to buy.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
You know, Chris worked in the radio business with us for a while.
Couldn't tell.
But now he's making big bucks doing movies. He's a superstar.
Fake news! Well, there's already, first of all, I'm making no money. Second of all, you sold me short because I'm writer-director for Sad Man's Club.
Seriously?
Oh,
Wow.
very serious.
I
Very
apologize.
serious.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
well,
start it. Well, let's start with the big picture. Louisiana Film Prize is back again. It's coming up soon. What weekend? Give us dates.
So, Prize Fest, which is including Louisiana Film Prize, the Music Prize events, as well as the Food Prize events, all happens October 3rd through 7th.
Wow.
And, you know, the biggest draw, of course, are the films. This year, they start showing the films on the Thursday night, October 4th. So you have Thursday night, all day Friday, all day Saturday to see the top 20 Louisiana
And
Film
Film
Prize
Prize
films.
has an awesome Facebook page, so if you're interested in tickets, as you should be, all the info is right there.
Tell us about your movie. Again, this is about your 80th movie, I think.
Yeah. No, I have. Over the last 3 years, I've been on about 40 Film Prize sets. You know, one of the criteria is that the film be shot here in the area. So filmmakers come from all over, and I've worked with out-of-state filmmakers. This year, the top 20 is made up of more local filmmakers than it ever had before. But my film, Sad Man's Club, it's a comedy. It's just sort of the log line is a 9-to-5er who's sick and tired of his job and daily routine, gets turned on to a secret club by his coworker that turns his world upside down.
Ooh.
So it's a comedy about a guy who hates his job, and then
That sounds pretty awesome, and that's all you're going to tell us. You're going to make us go.
I got a tease, you know.
Now, these
Where
are all...
where all did you film it? I mean, all over town?
So we filmed here at the radio station.
Okay.
We filmed at the Shreveport Municipal Auditorium. We filmed, help me out, Colby, because you're a producer. Oh, we filmed in South Shreveport at a residency.
Now, the amazing thing about these is that without fail, so much is crammed into the 15-minute limit. It's absolutely amazing. Colby, tell us about yours. Yours is called War Paint, right?
That's correct. That's correct. It's called War Paint. It's actually my dad's story from Vietnam. He was in the Vietnam War in the early 1960s, so I adapted his story.
Was it a story he told you? I don't want to give too much away. Was it something, an event that he told you about that you sort of grew up with, like a family legend or myth?
Actually, no. He was very kept it all close to the chest for most of his life.
Sound familiar? Pardon me. Sound familiar?
Yeah, absolutely.
Erin's dad was in World War II, won the Bronze Star, never talked about it. So please go ahead. I'm sorry.
So in his 70s, he finally started opening up more about it, and I really said, I really want to tell your story, and he wrote it all down for me, and so I took that and adapted it into the script War Paint.
It must have been amazing.
It was.
I mean, from a cathartic level, any number of emotional levels, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. My dad's always been very patriotic, and he's always really done the most he can for his country, and I really wanted to show that.
How hard was it to get somebody to play your dad, or did you do it in more of a third-person story sense?
It It was going to be hard to cast that until my family told me that I have to do it. So I played my dad in the film.
What? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was tough. It was the toughest thing I've ever done.
Oh my goodness. Let me ask you guys.
Pardon me just a second.
Okay.
I
Go ahead.
Is he still living? Did he see it?
He is living. I'm not going to let him see it until the final cut's ready. I want him to see the full thing and all its glory.
He appears in it at the end. I don't want to give anything away, but
like
Nice.
a Private Ryan thing?
So yeah.
Wow.
Oh man, that one's gonna be hard to beat there, Chris. I'm just
It's a
telling
really
you.
cool. No, Colby made a really great film. You know, sort of. The great thing about short film is you can experiment with the format, right? So Colby made a very interesting film that really chronicles from his dad's decision to go in to join to present day, and and how someone lives with that once they've been in Vietnam. So it's excellent.
Let me ask you guys. You're talking to a lot of people probably that have never been to Film Prize, don't know how it works. Explain how it all works. When you go, you need to see all of them, and it's not a commitment where you sit there for 30 hours.
Right. So, first of all, if you go to the website prizefest.org, they actually have a page that says How to Prize that explains it to you. But basically, it's a $50,000 short film competition. So, one of the 20 filmmakers will be awarded $50,000. Half of that is decided by judges, the other half by audience. So, the audience gets to vote. You have to see all 20 short films to be able to vote. So, they're split up basically into two blocks. So, you have two 2-hour movies you have to see, basically.
Okay.
So you can split that up over Friday night and Saturday, or Thursday night and Friday. And I recommend to do it over a couple days for people, although a lot of people just take it all in on Saturday.
Binge it.
Yeah, and binge it. But that's the idea, is you get to decide who the $50,000 winner is going to be.
Wow.
As a viewer.
Let me tell you, having done it on more than one occasion, obviously, time is not a problem. They fly by, because they are all maximum 15 minutes in length, and you sit through, it's like phase one, then phase two, and there's so much other stuff going on downtown at the same time. It's an amazing weekend for Shreveport.
You know, they block off a downtown area that there's no other festivals that get Texas Street blocked off, for that long of a period around here. And it's a fun time, like you said. There's live concerts, there's food. And there's all the filmmakers out in the street promoting their films, so you see some wild scenes.
And they're
really is a
being
good time.
shown at a variety of venues all day long, so that you literally can see the first part in the morning, hang out downtown, and then see them later in the afternoon or even into the evening.
All over Shreveport-Bossier, 5 different theaters to watch the films in.
Okay, one other thing that I want to mention before we got to wrap. This is a huge impact on our community. We don't think about that. But all these movies are filmed here. Way more than 20 were filmed here. The jobs they create, the impact, is it immeasurable almost?
It's probably closer to 100 films were filmed here over the summer, just for the Film Prize season. But to give you an idea of the economic impact, yes, it's in the millions over 7 years, and Gregory Kallenberg has it down to the dollar, he can tell you. But Colby and Taylor moved here from Georgia after their experience with Film Prize. They are young filmmakers who had such a great experience in year 3 that they decided to move here from Georgia, become part of the community, and take part every year. Wow. So the economic impact is really farther reaching than just independent filmmakers who come here and spend the budget on their film.
101, I just can't talk this morning, and I'll tell you why in a couple of seconds. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 722. Here's Ruben.
Just received reports of a major accident backing up traffic on I-220 westbound between Benton Road and North Market. And we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Seasonably hot with sun and a high of 96 today. Clear, low 74 tonight. Plenty of sunshine and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katie Beach.
24 past 7 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Ohio State head football coach Urban Meyer will miss the Buckeyes' first 3 games this season, serving a suspension for mishandling domestic assault allegations involving one of his assistant coaches. The school also admonished Meyer for misrepresenting how much and when he knew about wide receiver coach Zach Smith's alleged acts against his then-wife, Courtney. Ohio State Athletic Director Gene Smith will miss work without pay as well, receiving a suspension from August 31st to September 16th for his role. A weekend full of high school jamborees gets underway tonight in Coshada when Loyola meets Red River. The JV squads take the field at 6, followed by varsity action. The Astros bats came alive in a 10-7 win in Seattle Wednesday afternoon. Martin Maldonado and Tyler White each homered and had 3 hits. Thanks to Texas' 4-2 win in Oakland, Houston climbed back into first place, leading the A's by 1 game heading into the weekend. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
This requires such incredible focus, given the strain, the stress
Focus.
that I'm under today. 1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. Okay, so the post, the blog is at keelnews.com.
Yeah, what should Shreveport's slogan be?
Don't we have one? Do you think we need a new one?
We kinda do.
Aren't we Louisiana's other side?
Yeah, but we share that with Bossier. Shreveport, Bossier,
yeah.
Louisiana's other side.
Matt, what was the one we had a long time ago? What was that?
Oh, God, I told
What
Erin.
is good for Shreveport is good for me. I don't even remember that.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, we need a slogan that attracts people to Shreveport.
Like, for example.
Let's Nashville, the music city.
All right.
That's great. Las Vegas, we all know that one. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. New York, the city that never sleeps. New Orleans, this is perfect.
Laissez le bon temps rouler. Right?
Absolutely. Breaux Bridge, Louisiana. What do they have? They have the crayfish capital of the world.
Do they call it crayfish down there?
That's what they have on their slogan. I'm not sure it's right.
I'm thinking
Gilroy, California. I'm going to go visit Gilroy just because of the slogan. You ready?
What is it?
It's the garlic capital of the world.
I'm sorry?
The garlic capital of the world. Yeah.
Okay.
And another one I'm going to visit just because of the slogan, Beaver, Oklahoma.
Beg your pardon?
Beaver, Oklahoma. I am going there
for
the slogan.
Yes.
It's the cow chip capital of the world.
That would have been my second guess.
So we need a slogan.
Mm-hmm.
What is Shreveport's slogan going to be to sell our community? What would it be? I'm not joking here. I don't want Ratchet City and you won't get shot tonight and whatever.
How might one suggest a slogan for Shreveport?
I put a little poll up at the bottom of the post where I want you to write in your slogan. What you think it should be? What should Shreveport? What do we use to sell Shreveport?
A slogan, a motto, something that we could use to that we could put as one enters the town. Welcome to Shreveport, and then the motto.
And the reason I bring it up is because I saw a U-Haul truck prominently on the side of the truck. I guess they're featuring towns on their trucks now. And this one had a big picture of a dolphin. And then underneath it, it said, St. Petersburg, Florida, world-class dolphin watching.
Right.
I thought, well, that's a good, if I'm a dolphin lover and I see this truck ride, I'd want to go to St. Pete to watch dolphins.
So this is up and running at KEELnews.com.
Yeah, what's our slogan?
And on the Keel Facebook page, make your suggestions. We will update those as the morning rolls by.
We need something.
29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Ruben's here.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-220 westbound between Benton Road and North Market due to a major accident. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunny today, seasonably hot with a high of 96. A moonlit sky, low 74 tonight. Sunny and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zane.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Small private plane went down right after takeoff at Shreveport Regional Airport. Spokesman Mark Crawford says the pilot took off about 10:45 Wednesday, but immediately discovered she had engine trouble. She was forced to make an emergency landing. She was not seriously hurt. A push to expand alcohol sales in the Houghton area underway. Matt Parker with that.
A petition is making the rounds in Bossier Parish, pushing to expand alcohol sales in District 2. The petition aims to allow businesses in the parish to sell beer and wine with more than 6% alcohol. Proponents say that business and tax revenue is being lost because people are shopping outside the area. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Bossier Parish officially on board with a plan to build a new access gate to Barksdale Air Force Base. The police jury voted in favor of signing a cooperative agreement with the state to help fund the project. The parish has committed to paying $3 million of the $90 million price tag. Bossier City and NLCOG will spend about $12 million. Caddo Sheriff Steve Prater highly critical of the governor's criminal justice reform efforts. He says we do need some change, but this measure goes way too far. We asked the sheriff if programs are now in place as promised to help offenders get back into society.
No. We're designing the bus while we're driving the bus. And somebody's going to get killed. People are getting killed when you start operating like that.
You can see the full language of the reform effort at KEELnews.com. After 6 years, the volunteer group Friends of Bossier City Animal Control will no longer be working with the shelter. Spokesperson from the city says the group was not properly managing their social media accounts, which was causing some problems. The new school year has started, and more resources are available for parents and teachers through the Louisiana Believes website. We asked Bessie member Tony Davis about troubled schools. Caddo Parish has two of them, Atkins and Queensboro, in jeopardy of being taken over by the state.
I know that from where I sit, I'd like to help the district as much as possible take care of its own schools rather than turn schools over to the state, which is operating out of Baton Rouge, a long way from Caddo. If we can help provide the assistance that we need to Superintendent Goree and the district there, I'd much rather see that occur.
Davis says Bessie is working with the local school system to help improve the schools. Hurricane Lane chugging towards Hawaii, packing strong winds and expected to dump as much as 24 inches of rain on some parts of the island. Meteorologist Adam Klotz says the impact of the storm is starting to be felt there.
This storm beginning to see those outer bands of rain beginning to hit some of the islands. Some of this heavy rain, but the real heavy stuff still a little ways away. Winds still at 145 miles an hour.
Hawaii's governor has requested a presidential disaster declaration. A massive recall of Ford's cords. More from Jill Nato.
Ford's recalling the charging cords for over 50,000 electric and hybrid cars. The problem? Those cords could start fires in electrical outlets. The recall applies to cords for Focus Electrics, Fusion Energy, and CMA Energy plug-in hybrids. Those vehicles made between 2012 and 2015. The company says plugging those cords into outlets that are damaged or not on a dedicated circuit can cause the outlets to overheat. 4 fires known so far, but no injuries reported. Jill Nato, Fox News.
Plenty of off-the-field news for the LSU Tigers this month. 3 players suspended because of arrests, and 2 quarterbacks have left the team. Linebacker Devin White is expecting LSU to have one of the best defenses in the country. White says the Tigers have the nation's top defensive coordinator, Dave Aranda, who has opened up the playbook. Plus, he says the unit is filled with great players.
We got some big name guys, and we got some guys that's going to make some names for themselves. So, but the thing that we rely on is just all 11 guys to the ball playing with, great effort. And I think that's what make us be a dominant defense because we play so well together.
Tigers open the season September 2nd against Miami in Dallas. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. I got to tell you, see, when I was a kid, I hated the circus. I still hate the.
You don't like elephants.
No, I hate the. No, I love elephants. I hate the circus.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I don't, and I'm talking about the change that the animal crackers manufacturer has made in the box because of complaints from what is a lot of the animal rights activists.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's nobody less left-wing than me, but on the other hand, I hated the circus when I was a kid. I don't know. I just don't.
Why?
Because, okay, I have very few, as you know, very, very few pleasant memories or fond memories from my second marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But one of those is my wife number 2, to whom I very seldom refer.
Mm-hmm.
When I first met her in Rochester, New York, she was arrested with a number of other protesters for picketing a circus. And she was holding us. I've told you this. And she was holding a sign that says, bears shouldn't roller skate.
Yes.
You know what? Bears shouldn't roller skate.
That's true.
And that says it all to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's an awesome line. And every time I go to the, I don't, look, how many times over the last 20 years have we been invited? We need celebrity ringmasters.
Yeah, come ride an elephant.
And I said,
yeah.
no, you guys, no.
No. Not interested.
No, bears shouldn't
I like
roller
the
skate.
circus, though.
Bears shouldn't roller skate.
I do like the circus.
No, you didn't.
We're gonna have a circus on the radio here coming up next.
That'll be interesting. Tell us about it in 30 seconds.
Mark Cooper, governor's chief of staff, stopped in town yesterday, spoke at the big Chamber of Commerce Legislative Summit, and he kind of dissed us a little bit.
Beg your pardon?
He kind of dissed us a little bit.
Yeah, you started talking about that yesterday. And
my phone blew up.
Yeah, we heard from a couple of legislators, a congressman.
Uh-huh.
You got all intense and stuff.
Business
and I'm going,
leaders were texting me.
Kind of awesome myself.
And I didn't understand why he did it.
He is standing by.
He's on the phone.
It's going to be you and him, just like with Miss Stephanie when she said that you were leading the lynch mob.
Mono a womano.
Yeah, and I'm just going to sort of referee your conversation.
Oh, sure you will.
If necessary. Basically, I'm going to Cracker Barrel. 739, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Ruben's ready. Traffic update.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-220 westbound between Benton Road and North Market due to a major accident. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Seasonably hot with sun and a high of 96 today. Clear, low 74 tonight. Plenty of sunshine and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 742, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, Shreveport Security Systems text line number is 318-392-1884. Standing by from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is the Chief of Staff of Governor. Mr. Mark, how are you this morning? Erin says you're not in Baton Rouge. You're still here?
No, sir. I'm actually in Baton Rouge, and good morning.
My bad.
Then let me continue with the official introduction. Live from Baton Rouge, the Governor's Chief of Staff, Mr. Mark Cooper, is here. Hey, Mr. Mark, welcome to Keel. How you doing?
Thank you. Good morning.
Mark, you went before the Legislative Summit gathering, the luncheon yesterday, and something you said made my phone blow up, and so I had to go listen to it. And you said Keel Radio spreads misinformation.
Well, I don't think, well, first of all, for full disclosure, can I just say that as a kid growing up in Bossier City, you were my favorite radio station. I have to say that, first of all.
Thank you.
And I didn't actually say that. I was trying to make a point. I was up there to talk about the great things happening in Louisiana and talking about some of the things that happened during the session. And, part of the frustration, I came back to Louisiana last year to serve as the governor's chief of staff. I grew up in North Louisiana, grew up in Bossier, and I wanted just to come and kind of clear some things up because I feel like while it's good that different opinions are shared on Keel, and I get that, but I think that sometimes there's false narratives, not necessarily by Keel, but by some of your guests, and that was the point that I was trying to make. It's almost like it's a tale of two states sometimes, that I don't feel like some of the good information and good things that are happening are being shared, and I just made that as a brief point and then went into some of the good things that are happening. So it was not an attack on KEEL. It was about some of the legislators and others that come there and speak, and I don't feel like they give sometimes the full story, and that was my point.
Okay, let me play it for you. You tell me what you meant to say. You ready?
Sure.
And even though, again, this gets back to a lot of the misinformation that's put out there on social media and on KEEL radio about the governor.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the one point, or the one point of the presentation. So that, again, what I just said is accurate. So that aligns with what I said.
Okay. Would you do it again?
Absolutely, that was my intent. And again, you guys, you serve a purpose. I know that KEEL is very popular up there, and I think that while I think it's important to put different opinions out there, I think sometimes it would be good if you all would push back and challenge, some of the things that's said on your station. The most recent thing is this whole criminal justice debate that's out there, and you've had guests that have actually put inaccurate information out there. And and we've got the statistics to prove it. And there's others that have gone out, and there's been a number of editorials that have been written about some of the information that's put out, and not just with KEEL, but other news sources and social media that put that information out there.
Mark, let me say, there's people listening saying the governor puts out misinformation all the time, and it's common. Let's start with there'll be no more LSU football. That, come on, you got the king of misinformation.
Well, I don't. That's not accurate. First of all, I've heard that I was not here when that took place. I think that had something to do, when he inherited. He came into office, and I forget the exact number, but it was over either $1 billion or $2 billion deficit, and that was the first, going trying to find ways to save money. And I think it was during the summer, and they were going to have to shut down some of the classes for summer school, and I think that was going to impact football players, and I think that was related to their eligibility to play. But again, I wasn't here, and I think that statement was related to that. But, that's the other part of it, too. I think you've had people on your show saying that there really wasn't a fiscal cliff. It was all in the governor's making. But that's absolutely false. It was a real fiscal cliff. Again, people have a right to come on your program and give a different opinion, and I just think, you all need to push back and challenge them on that. And the point I was making.
Are you
saying
we don't? Are you saying we just rubber stamp all those folks that disagree with the governor?
Or what if we agree?
Well, if you agree, that's fine. But I know there's again, looking at criminal justice. That's one thing that I know that we've had put information out there that it's blatantly false. That some of the stuff that's been put out there. I think you should challenge them on that. And the other thing too is to look at the good things that are happening up in Bossier that the state is doing. I mean, look at the interchange that the governor, as I talked about yesterday. For 30 years, they've been trying to get that interchange off the I-220 into Barksdale Air Force Base. Now you have a governor with all of the needs in the state of Louisiana for infrastructure and the roads. We identified that and working, with the senators up there, identified that as a priority. I mean, that's a positive thing. You're looking at what's going on with the Cyber Innovation Center and some of the things that they're doing. So, I mean, my point was, and again, that was a very small part of my presentation. Point is, there's a lot of great things happening up in North Louisiana that the governor is supporting. He's been up there at least 10 times to Bossier and probably as many times in Shreveport, but you just don't hear that. You have people on your show that focus on negativity of things that we feel, sometimes it's false information they're putting out there.
Does the governor feel that the times he's been on KEEL that he's ever gotten an unfair shake?
I've not talked to the governor about that. That's the other part of it too, is that he doesn't sit around worrying about this info. He just wants to do what's right for the state, and he gets up every morning. He's probably one of the hardest working governors we ever had. He's not sitting around worrying about that. And again, this was a small part of my presentation yesterday, but I just felt like as being somebody that grew up in Bossier City, I wanted just to kind of set the record straight of what this governor was doing and how hard he was working for the citizens of Northwest Louisiana.
But there are folks that say our budget now, Mark, it's at record high levels, and they don't believe some of the things he's saying, that he has cut the budget. Do you understand where we're coming from?
Well, it's not at record high levels. I mean, he has cut the budget. He's cut the budget by over $500 million, and he inherited a terrible situation coming into it, and has found ways again, it was a bipartisan solution that eventually resulted during the special session. Republicans and Democrats and Independents came together, and we've shown that, and he's been able to, he's been able to lead in a very bipartisan way, and there's a reason why, the president has invited the governor to the White House at least 5 times to talk about different issues, including criminal justice reform, as well as opioids and infrastructure, because he sees the governor being very bipartisan here in Louisiana.
Mark Cooper, Chief of Staff for the Governor, thanks for your time this morning.
All right, thank you. I really appreciate it.
749, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update. Ruben's here.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-220 westbound between Benton Road and North Market due to a major accident. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
KeelAccuWeather.com forecast, kind of sunny and hot today, upper 90s, right now 72. Good morning. It's 8 before 8 o'clock. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Ohio State head football coach Urban Meyer will miss the Buckeyes' first 3 games this season, serving a suspension for mishandling domestic assault allegations involving one of his assistant coaches. The school also admonished Meyer for misrepresenting how much and when he knew about wide receiver coach Zach Smith's alleged acts against his then-wife, Courtney. Ohio State Athletic Director Gene Smith will miss work without pay as well, receiving a suspension from August 31st to September 16th for his role. A weekend full of high school jamborees gets underway tonight in Coshada when Loyola meets Red River. The JV squads take the field at 6, followed by varsity action. The Astros bats came alive in a 10-7 win in Seattle Wednesday afternoon. Martin Maldonado and Tyler White each homered and had 3 hits thanks to Texas' 4-2 win in Oakland. Houston climbed back into first place, leading the A's by 1 game heading into the weekend. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Good morning, 755. It's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. See, I tell you, those guys take that stuff seriously.
That's okay.
There's no tongue-in-cheek. There's no, hey, let's have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they come out swinging the bats. And it's
I just...
What?
Why would you ever do that? Why would you come to a town where I felt like you went into my child's auditorium where they're having a big assembly.
Yeah.
And you walked right up to my child and kicked him in the teeth.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
So you take that stuff. I don't mean this in a bad way.
I know.
You get all upset by. I take.
And I see their point. I understand
take stuff
their
like
point.
that as a compliment.
But why would you even do that? I mean, it drew complete negative attention to something that could have been very positive. You know, all the governor's successes that they wanted to tout. And then my phone blew up from everybody that was in the audience.
From Dodie Horton to Mike Johnson to everybody else.
From everybody that heard him diss us.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of hearing his message, they heard him talk bad about something they love.
And that literally was what was in most of those texts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I think that was ill-advised. I don't know if he wrote it himself. I'm sure he did. It sounded like it. And ill-timed and ill-placed. Wrong place.
I asked you that in the 6 o'clock hour when we were talking about this. I said, do you think it was an ad lib, or do you think that's part of the speech? Do you think that let's get that in there? Let's get that little
nobody told him to sing that in there. Nobody.
So you think when he writes a speech and he goes on the road that he
yeah.
just does it himself, that nobody else looks at it?
Nobody from the communications office okayed that.
Seriously.
If they did, then shame on them.
757, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Hannity.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
We now see that a lot of the corruption, it was so deep on a level that none of us ever even could conceive or imagine in terms of the level of vitriol and hatred and abuse of power to achieve their goals, both before the election and then during the transition and after the election. So if you think this is a big win because Robert Mueller got the widest possible mandate, basically if your dog poops on the street in New York, Robert Mueller's mandate allows them to come after you. That's how stupid this has now become. The problem with the stupid part has nothing to do with Russia.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, I recently gave my home a facelift. I did it the best, simplest way possible. Brand new custom blinds, thanks to my friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Now through August the 29th, you can save up to 35% off and take an additional 5% off site-wide just by using the promo code Hannity. That's up to 35% off plus an additional 5% off site-wide. Blinds.com, promo code Hannity. Rules, restrictions apply.
Mesothelioma kills. It has taken lives, destroyed families, and ruined childhoods. We need to take action immediately. The Mesothelioma Patient Registry Act of 2017 would create a patient registry for researchers. Cancer and ALS have it. Meso researchers need it too. We need to find a cure for this devastating disease. For more information on this bipartisan bill, visit iSaveTeam.org. That's iSaveTeam.org.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-220 westbound between Benton Road and North Market due to a major accident. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunny today, seasonably hot with a high of 96. A moonlit sky, low 74 tonight. Sunny and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport. The KEEL.
Good morning. It's 8:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Miss Erin has local news up next.
A petition about alcohol for the Houghton area. Some shakeup going on at Bossier City Animal Control, and the sheriff says we went a little too far in that Justice Reinvestment Act.
As a matter of fact, we will replay our chat with Sheriff Steve later in the hour at about 8:40. Erin's still a little miffed about some statements made about KEEL at that luncheon at the CenturyLink Center yesterday. And Anna Marie Arpino, she is running for mayor. Why? What's she going to do? Why should you vote for her? She's going to tell us that next. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather. It's all here this hour, and it's coming up on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Plane crash at a local airport. Matt Parker with the details.
A private plane had to make an emergency crash landing at Shreveport Regional Airport Wednesday morning. The plane went down around 11 a.m. According to reports, the pilot was the only person on board and only suffered minor injuries in the crash. The incident remains under investigation. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A petition making the rounds in Bossier Parish pushing to expand alcohol sales in District 2, the Houghton area. The petition aims to allow businesses in the parish to sell beer and wine with more than 6% alcohol content. Proponents say business and tax revenue is being lost because people are shopping outside the area. After 6 years, the volunteer group Friends of Bossier City Animal Control will no longer be working with the shelter. A spokesperson from the city says the group was not properly managing their social media accounts, which was causing problems. She went on to say Bossier City will still use volunteers to help run and manage the facility. Caddo Sheriff Steve Prater says people need to know more about what's included in the Justice Reinvestment Program in our state. The sheriff says we needed some change, but this measure goes way too far.
Well, I think it's wonderful. We're not the prison capital of the world anymore. That's great. And I'll be the first to tell you that the Department of Corrections did need to make some changes. They certainly needed to improve some of the things that they were doing, and this bill allows them to do some of the things that administratively they could have been doing all along.
You can see the full language of the reform effort at KEELnews.com. One man recovering after being shot Wednesday night. According to investigators, it happened at an apartment complex on East Stoner. 3 men were arguing about mechanical work done on a car when 2 of the men pulled out guns, shooting the victim. The man was hit in the hip and backside. His wounds are said to be non-life-threatening. Brianna Savannah arrested for an early morning hit and run that left a man dead. According to police, Savannah allegedly hit and killed Danny Reed Wednesday morning on MLK and sped off. At this time, Savannah's being charged with felony hit and run and driving with a suspended license. The new school year has started, and one of the big changes this year is how school performance is evaluated. Bessie member Tony Davis says the standards had to change because we're doing a disservice to our children.
The very real evidence of the fallacy and something like that is when you imagine a parent whose child has graduated from high school as an honor student and an A student, and they go to a rigorous college, maybe out of state, for instance, or even in state, and they realize they're in remediation classes or they're not the same level that their peers are at.
Big Music Festival in downtown Shreveport looks to celebrate the city's rich music history. The 3rd annual Arklatex Music Heritage Festival is being held this weekend at Festival Plaza. A task force is talking about auto insurance rates and how high they are in Louisiana. Representative Kirk Talbot says the task force wants to address the elephant in the room, keeping insurance companies away.
They won't write insurance here if they can't make money. The damage awards are, in a lot of cases, double what they are everywhere else. So it costs insurance companies twice as much to do business here.
Louisiana has the highest auto insurance rates in the nation. President Trump continues to deny wrongdoing, tweeting before dawn today that special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation is a witch hunt and that there was no collusion with Russia during the election. The replica Ferrari used in the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off will be auctioned off on live TV this weekend. It will be roughly one of 600 cars sold during the Mecum auctions. The Ferris Bueller car will be sold Saturday at 2 o'clock our time. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL traffic time. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-220 westbound between Benton Road and North Market due to a major accident. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, seasonably hot with sun and a high of 96 today, clear, low 74 tonight, plenty of sunshine and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. Ms. Anna Marie Arpino is in studio. She is running for mayor of Shreveport. Hey, I can see over the top of the screen. Hey, Ms. Anna Marie. Welcome to KEEL. How you doing today?
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Tell folks a little bit about yourself first. Folks are not familiar with you.
Be glad to. My name is Anna Marie Arpino. I'm running for mayor. And no, I'm not a politician, and I say that with gladness. I'm a degreed accountant. This is what I offer you coming into the program, the knowledge and the education. I'm a degreed accountant. I have a heavy construction background, ownership of a very large construction company, late 70s, with concrete, water, and sewer background. I'm past human resources director for the hospital. I was a 21-year caretaker for elderly, which is 21 years for my mother and 8 years for my father. I'm very community-based. I've done some community things throughout the state and also in Shreveport. Just a few of them. I've worked 16 years to get I-49 through, and of course now we have that. It's a long 16 years with a small committee. We did a lot of work. And another was the Congressional Medal of Honor Convention that was held in Shreveport, Louisiana, 2002. D.C. said we'd never be able to do it because we had to raise several hundreds of thousands of dollars in 5 months. Small committee, along with myself, we did it. We had a very, very outstanding Congressional Medal of Honor Convention.
Excuse me just a second. You strike me as a woman, if I might be so bold, who had that sort of Howard Beale, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore moment. Am I right in assuming that? And if I am, what was the straw? What was that moment where you said, I'm going to run for mayor? This has got to be fixed.
Because several places that I went and several crowds that I was in, they had that attitude you just said. And they said, Anna Marie, you're a get things done, start to finish kind of person. That's what we don't have that we need. You're strong, you're educated, you're not only an accountant, but you used to be the city accountant, so you know the city's books. You were first city accountant.
What does Shreveport need?
Shreveport needs leadership. Shreveport needs education. Shreveport needs experience in what Shreveport needs. My background, especially being in accounting, I am very, very sure that there's a lot of money that we actually have that's been being presently put to the wrong things and to a small sector of people that do not benefit the rest of the community.
Let's talk crime a minute.
Absolutely.
New police chief under you as mayor?
Well, the 9-point system is what I want under the mayor, under me. Now, 9-point systems are used in larger towns.
What is that?
I'm going to explain it to you here. But let me just say why we want to use this 9-point system that larger towns use. It's because we have the crime level of a large town, even though we're not. That's a sad fact. This system has 7 substations, and those substations are put in crime-ridden areas. It also has 4 special forces, and what that is those are a force of folks that of qualified police personnel. Folks is what I call them, that only work in these areas. The first one is domestic violence. That's all they work with. The second special force works with black-on-black crime, and that's what it's called. The third special force works on drugs, thugs, and gangs. The fourth one works on stolen car recoveries. These are subsections along with the 7 substations. Now, on top of these 2, we still have what we have now operating, which is the administration, the patrols, the dispatch, the detectives, the SWAT, drug enforcement is there also. Without this system, we're not going to be able to control our crime to the level that we need to. And you ask, why is crime so important? Well, we all know we want to be safe, but I also want economic development brought into the city of Shreveport. I'm not going to be able to bring in companies, and neither is anyone else, until we get the crime under control. People don't want to move their families and themselves into a community with their job or their corporation into a community that they're not going to be safe and their children are not going to be safe.
Let's talk economic development a minute, if you don't mind. We're talking to Anna Marie Arpino, candidate for mayor. How active will you be in going out and recruiting companies and bringing jobs to town?
That has to be handled from the mayor's chair. It has not been in the past, and that's why it doesn't work. The mayor needs to be, if I'm not on the telephone recruiting businesses and corporations, then I need to actually be in their states, in their cities, in their places, wherever, to speak with them. Because being an accountant, and of course, I got my degree in 1988. I've been an accountant in practice for many years. I can do a tax incentive for these companies to come in. We have so much wasted property. We have so many buildings and warehouses and things that are just literally rotting on the foundation of which they stand.
One of the first big decisions the next mayor is going to have to make, if it makes it through the city council, is Cross Bayou development, $1 billion, 10 years. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think about if that were your decision, Mayor Arpino, which way do you go?
There's a serious concern I have about, of course, all growth is good, and all developments are good, and we need them. But I have a serious concern on what that soil, that soil may be contaminated due to past use of that property. And I got to thinking, and I said, if anything's wrong with that soil, and somebody happens to own that property, they're not going to be able to do much with it unless they could get some ventures to come in and build buildings and things that we need on top of that soil. And oh my, what that property would be worth now. I mean, I can't help but have that go through my head. Not that that's particularly the case, but first I would need to see if that soil is safe, because you don't want to build things on contaminated soil and have people sick, in the future building. And also,
Yes,
is that revenue it makes, is it staying in our town, or is it wandering off to another state from the investors? No one seems to know that information that I've been able to speak with. So I would need to look into that as I would mayor. As an accountant looks at things, we look at all corners, all possible scenarios before we make decisions.
Anna Marie Arpino, mayoral candidate. More on the way. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. It's a world of vowels, and I'm struggling. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-220 westbound between Benton Road and North Market due to a major accident. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunny today, seasonably hot with a high of 96. A moonlit sky, low 74 tonight. Sunny and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Past 8 o'clock. Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Ohio State head football coach Urban Meyer will miss the Buckeyes' first 3 games this season, serving a suspension for mishandling domestic assault allegations involving one of his assistant coaches. The school also admonished Meyer for misrepresenting how much and when he knew about wide receiver coach Zach Smith's alleged acts against his then-wife, Courtney. Ohio State Athletic Director Gene Smith will miss work without pay as well, receiving a suspension from August 31st to September 16th for his role. A weekend full of high school jamborees gets underway tonight in Coshada when Loyola meets Red River. The JV squads take the field at 6, followed by varsity action. The Astros bats came alive in a 10-7 win in Seattle Wednesday afternoon. Martin Maldonado and Tyler White each homered and had 3 hits thanks to Texas' 4-2 win in Oakland. Houston climbed back into first place, leading the A's by 1 game heading into the weekend. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
24 past 8, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. In studio is Ms. Anna. Why am I? Oh, it was the beer I had last night. Anna Marie Arpino, candidate for mayor. There was a mayoral forum about 2 weeks ago or so, and it was the PACE Forum, which is basically a liberal-leaning LGBT
It was this past Sunday.
Organization. And you made the statement you wanted to make Shreveport great again. And they started booing you. Two-part question. Were you surprised they booed when you said, I want to make Shreveport great again? And when you said that, what did you mean?
Well, first off, Robert and Erin, forgive my passion, but I want to make Shreveport great again. That's what I want to do. And I didn't. It is what it is. I said it because that's exactly what I want to do. I want to make Shreveport great again because I can. I have the experience and knowledge to know how to do that. And I didn't really think about it being a liberal, so anti-Trump crowd. And I think one of the candidates even made a derogatory comment about Trump. But whatever you feel about the man ran, he was elected. The people have spoken. He's elected, and you must respect the office of the president. The people have spoken in votes, period, no matter what liberal they are or whoever.
It's a great slogan, make Shreveport great again.
But it's not a slogan.
Where do you start? Where do you start?
I'll tell you where you start. First off, my crime system that I've just told you earlier has to be put in place. Crime has to be the first initial that we take care of. You know, I've been told before, oh, we can't do that. We can't. We have a town of naysayers, just like the Congressional Medal of Honor Convention. I was told out of D.C., oh, we can't, Shreveport can't have that. You can never you can't raise the funds. You don't have enough room. Da 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 da. We're the most successful. And matter of fact, General Norman Schwarzkopf came here and was the fee was quite expensive to have him speak. And then he called and said, somebody can get me a twin-engine plane, you know, to visit some family members, you know, kind of close to Louisiana. I'll forgive my fee, which was several thousands and thousands of dollars, which he did. But, you know, I have started and finished many projects, just like televising Miss Louisiana pageant. I was in college. I was on the board of directors for Miss Louisiana pageants. And we said, why don't we televise it? We said, oh, we can't do that. We don't have the money. We went through the state with all the radio and TV. Piccadilly, I believe, gave us like $64,000 to start airing it. Miss Louisiana is still aired on television air now from our JCs in that community. That was during college.
Anna Marie Arpino, what are the first three things you do if you're elected mayor of Shreveport?
First three things I would do is put the 9-point system and the crime package I just told you in place immediately. Second off, I would get rid of a political police department. Everybody needs to follow the same laws, and they need to apply to everybody the same, number one. Number two, there's so many things that are not done with the police department. And they say, we don't have the staff, da-da-da-da. Number one, people need to understand, we used to have an HR director, and of course I'm an HR director background, and I understand that. And this HR director was for many years with Shreveport, and this person had standards to hire his police officers. When he retired after many, many, many years, and they came in with the next structure, those standards were relaxed. And things that he would not have let someone be an officer that were in their background, he wouldn't have hired them, isn't necessarily so after he left. So, but I'm not going to say we don't have some good police officers, because let me tell you, we do. We have a lot of fine folks out there, both in his administration and afterwards. But our police, to be honest with you, in my opinion, are burned out. They need a structure where they can get more time off paid, and I know how that sounds, but since Shreveport does not pay that much for their police, reward them in having a few more, maybe even a couple more weeks a year off paid while we have more officers that can rotate. And the reason of that is, in the long run, we will have a less stressed, tired police community number one. Number two, it would kind of reward them for the low pay until I can get in there as an accountant, look at our city books. I've got a feeling we got a lot of money wasted on things it shouldn't be.
Speaking of your experience as an accountant, there are a number of candidates who have come in here and said Shreveport needs this, Shreveport needs that. I won't touch on anything specific, but the things they want to do for the city all involve money. We are sort of, bluntly put, a cash-strapped city. Would you be willing as mayor, or as a candidate at least, to take a no new taxes, a no tax increase pledge?
Oh, absolutely. You know, our current mayor, if I'm not mistaken, when she was at the school board, had very large tax increases they wanted. They were voted down. But that's not the way we need to go with the city. I feel that if you had the leadership and realize I used to be city accountant. I handle special revenues, which is federal revenues all federal revenues coming into the city. And that was my first job out of college. I have a feeling if you have someone that's knowledgeable in accounting in that chair that can read financials and read the governmental accounts, I feel like there's a lot of money in wrong places for a small sector of groups that don't need to be there. We have enough money. What we don't have is someone that knows where to put it. We need to put the money where it affects the people, our people in the city, which is in the crime, which is in economic development to get them jobs. Now that I-49 is through, my second phase of that is to get at least five of the distribution logistics companies to come in. And when I was told they have like 200 jobs apiece. So that's the kind of things we need to be putting the money towards. Crime, economic development. Also, our veterans. Anybody that's a retired veteran in this community in Shreveport, they need a cut on their city taxes, their water and the sewer, on every one of their bills, on every one of their tax bills. They need a cut because they serve this country. They're retired veterans. And now they're in the golden years of their life. They need every city service I can find to give them a discount cut. And I mean a cut. I'm going to find it, and I'm going to do it.
Anna Marie Arpino, candidate for mayor of Shreveport. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Local news just ahead. Traffic time right now. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-220 westbound between Benton Road and North Market due to a major accident. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunny today, seasonably hot with a high of 96. A moonlit sky, low 74 tonight. Sunny and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Small private plane went down right after takeoff at Shreveport Regional Airport. Spokesman Mark Crawford says the pilot took off about 10:45 Wednesday, but immediately discovered she had engine trouble. She was forced to make an emergency landing. She was not seriously hurt. A push to expand alcohol sales in the Houghton area underway. Matt Parker with that.
A petition is making the rounds in Bossier Parish, pushing to expand alcohol sales in District 2. The petition aims to allow businesses in the parish to sell beer and wine with more than 6% alcohol. Proponents say that business and tax revenue is being lost because people are shopping outside the area. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
Bossier Parish officially on board with a plan to build a new access gate to Barksdale Air Force Base. The police jury voted in favor of signing a cooperative agreement with the state to help fund the project. The parish has committed to paying $3 million of the $90 million price tag. Bossier City and NLCOG will spend about $12 million. Caddo Sheriff Steve Prater highly critical of the governor's criminal justice reform efforts. He says we do need some change, but this measure goes way too far. We asked the sheriff if programs are now in place as promised to help offenders get back into society.
No. We're designing the bus while we're driving the bus. And somebody's going to get killed. People are getting killed when you start operating like that.
You can see the full language of the reform effort at KEELnews.com. After 6 years, the volunteer group Friends of Bossier City Animal Control will no longer be working with the shelter. Spokesperson from the city says the group was not properly managing their social media accounts, which was causing some problems. The new school year has started, and more resources are available for parents and teachers through the Louisiana Believes website. We asked Bessie member Tony Davis about troubled schools. Caddo Parish has two of them, Atkins and Queensboro, in jeopardy of being taken over by the state.
I know that from where I sit, I'd like to help the district as much as possible take care of its own schools rather than turn schools over to the state, which is operating out of Baton Rouge. It's a long way from Caddo. If we can help provide the assistance that we need to the Superintendent Goree and the district there, I'd much rather see that occur.
Davis says Bessie is working with the local school system to help improve the schools. Hurricane Lane chugging towards Hawaii, packing strong winds and expected to dump as much as 24 inches of rain on some parts of the island. Meteorologist Adam Klotz says the impact of the storm is starting to be felt there.
This storm beginning to see those outer bands of rain beginning to hit some of the islands. Some of this heavy rain, but the real heavy stuff still a little ways away. Winds still at 145 miles an hour.
Hawaii's governor has requested a presidential disaster declaration. A massive recall of Ford's cords. More from Jill Nato.
Ford's recalling the charging cords for over 50,000 electric and hybrid cars. The problem? Those cords could start fires in electrical outlets. The recall applies to cords for Focus Electrics, Fusion Energy, and CMA Energy plug-in hybrids. Those vehicles made between 2012 and 2015. The company says plugging those cords into outlets that are damaged or not on a dedicated circuit can cause the outlets to overheat. 4 fires known so far, but no injuries reported. Jill Nato, Fox News.
Plenty of off-the-field news for the LSU Tigers this month. 3 players suspended because of arrests, and 2 quarterbacks have left the team. Linebacker Devin White is expecting LSU to have one of the best defenses in the country. White says the Tigers have the nation's top defensive coordinator, Dave Aranda, who has opened up the playbook. Plus, he says the unit is filled with great players.
We got some big name guys, and we got some guys that's going to make some names for themselves. So, but the thing that we rely on is just all 11 guys to the ball playing with, great effort. And I think that's what make us be a dominant defense because we play so well together.
Tigers open the season September 2nd against Miami in Dallas. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Did you make the management decision?
Yeah, I did.
So,
I still have things twisted over here.
Okay, so
I'm talking about my panties.
We'll go to break, and when we come back, we will discuss the speech, the remark that was made yesterday by the governor's chief of staff at the Bossier Chamber-sponsored legislative luncheon at CenturyLink Center.
Yeah.
And you're a little miffed. Well, we had a little tiff
Both.
this morning.
Yeah.
You're a little miffed about that, and I'd rather you not describe any more undergarment.
Okay. All right.
I'll
leave that out.
Your cat four in your pants. I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, there's no cats in my pants.
839. No, they're all at your house. 839, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of East Texas Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Seasonably hot with sun and a high of 96 today. Clear, low 74 tonight. Plenty of sunshine and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 841. It's 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The Keel app, a free download presented by, as always, Office Furniture Source. Okay, so yesterday, I'm still a little unclear. You sort of clarified a skosh, a tad, a tiny weeny bit about what happened yesterday around lunchtime at the CenturyLink Center. It was the Bossier Chamber Bossier Chamber of Commerce sponsored legislative luncheon.
Their big summit.
And there were a whole bunch of
all kind of mucky-mucks.
There were a lot of local politicians, state level, even a couple of national level polls. I know that Congressman Mike Johnson was there. And as a matter of fact, as the afternoon went on, you got a text from State Rep Dodie Horton and a text from Mr. Mike saying, you might want to take a listen to some remarks that were made by the governor's chief of staff, feller.
Well, my phone literally blew up within about 30 minutes of these remarks being made.
Of Bossier City origin named Mark Cooper.
Yeah, Super Cooper.
So you went back and listened. What exactly happened, and what are you so upset about?
Well, Mr. Cooper was given kind of a rundown of all the great things these legislative leaders have done along with the governor to make our state great, blah, 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 and we've staved off the fiscal cliff, and we've solved the TOPS problem, and all the great stuff we've done. And then in a little side remark, he said something about despite what you might see on social media or hear on KEEL radio, the governor has done great things, blah, blah,
Did
blah,
he use
blah,
the word
blah.
misinformation?
Despite the misinformation.
Do we have the bite? We can listen to the bite here real quick.
Yeah, listen to what he said.
And even though, again, this gets back to a lot of the misinformation that's put out there on social media and on KEEL radio about the governor.
Okay, in my world, and you and I view this stuff kind of different. Going back to the Stephanie Lynch, let's say, controversy of a month or so ago, you got all you were twisted up on that one too.
Uh-huh.
And you said, why doesn't that bother you so much? I said, well, it just doesn't. I ask myself, am I what they say? And if not, I dismiss it. I got to tell you, from my political point of view, from my political stance, if I'm getting busted on by somebody from the governor's office, I take that as a pat on the back. I take that as sort of the bona fides of
Bring
my
on some more,
the bona fides of my conservatism.
Yeah.
And yet you take it as a bit of a, dare I say, insult.
Yeah, my whole issue is when we do something that could insult the governor. Maybe if one of us were to ask someone if the governor were a moron, or maybe if one of us were to call the governor insane one morning.
Yeah.
And then right away they're on the phone blowing us up, going, "Why are you doing? That's disrespectful. Why are you doing that of your governor?" If that were to ever happen, and then they blow our phones up, and then when they come to my backyard and pee on my bushes.
I beg your pardon?
When they come to my backyard and make a comment like that in front of my people, these people, they may not agree with me. There's many in that room that don't agree with me on many things I say, but they do care. They do listen.
A community.
They
with
feel
you.
connected to me. They feel connected to you. They feel like we're part of the fabric of this town. I hate to say that because that makes us sound so damn old, but they feel like we're kind of Shreveport-Bossier. We're kind of the mouthpieces. Though some of the things we say they think are stupid, and they think we're idiots, and that's fine, but they feel like they're a part of us. And then you come into that room and you pee on our bushes.
There that is again.
Right. I mean, I don't understand why you would do that,
So what did you do when you heard, first of all, when you got the texts, second of all, when you listened to the actual audio? It's not like, let's be honest, it's not like you went home and you picked up the phone and called the governor's office, for God's sake.
No. I got the bunch of texts. I then went and watched it to make sure it's accurate. Did he say what these people were telling me he said?
And then you called the governor's office.
And then I called the governor's
Well, at least you waited.
Yeah. And
How did that
of course,
conversation go?
My opening salvo was, of course, very, very nice and sweet. Why is he pouring fuel on the fire?
You came out throwing haymakers.
Yeah, pretty much. Why is he coming up here in my backyard?
I mean, you went
throwing fuel on the fire.
Or George Foreman on some poor guy or woman on the phone.
I just don't get that. I don't get the point of that. The whole speech, we could have been talking about his speech today.
So
we could have been playing audio cuts of the things the governor's done. No, that's not what we're doing.
What was the back and forth between you and someone in the governor's office?
Well, I don't think that's what he intended, but let me check. Let me go listen to it. Let me check it out. So after a few calls throughout the afternoon, and I mixed a nap in there in the process, calls me back. No, he's not talking about you or KEEL or you or Robert or KEEL. He's talking about some of the guests you have on KEEL are spreading misinformation. So some of the guests you have on KEEL spread misinformation, things that are not accurate. And I said, do you not think the governor has spread some misinformation in the past at all? Oh, no, the governor's just dealing with the facts and how he's found them when he was elected. I said, like, we're going to get rid of LSU football? That's not misinformation? That to me was misinformation. No, that's not misinformation. Governor stands by that remark. Absolutely stands by that remark. And I said, Shauna, I literally shook my head. I said, Shauna, the governor would take that comment back today if he could. You and I both know he would never say that.
What did she say?
She said he stands by that comment. And she said it may not have been something people liked to hear or believed would ever happen, but it was one of the possible options that he had to look at. If anybody listening to me right now really thinks the governor of Louisiana would have ever shut down LSU football,
or has the power to do so,
let me introduce you to the little Kool-Aid man, because we're going to go drink some Kool-Aid, and you're nuts. And then to say you're going to get rid of SNAP benefits, and you're going to put nursing home patients on the curb. To me, and I know to the governor's office that's not, but to me, That's spreading misinformation.
So how did the conversation wrap up with you and your
They
new
were
best
scared about
friends
what
at
we
the
were going to
governor's
do.
office?
They were scared about what we were going to do today. They were worried about what we were going to do. And I said, have Mark come on. Have Mark join us. Mark joined us last hour. No, I was talking about, some of the things that your guests say on the, and he wouldn't, wished I hadn't have said it like that. I wish I should have, blah, blah, blah. Nothing like, when one of us suggested the governor might be a moron, one of us did apologize because it was disrespectful. For him to come in a room in front of all of our people and say KEEL spreads misinformation, and not KEEL listeners or KEEL guests, KEEL spreads misinformation, that's disrespectful, and you pissed me off.
849. Well, you should run for sheriff. 849, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Heck, pissing her alone. Time for traffic. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of East Texas Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunny today, seasonably hot with a high of 96. A moonlit sky, low 74 tonight. Sunny and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
The state of Louisiana is getting $172 million back from the federal government because the IRS was charging the state fees for Obamacare that it wasn't allowed to charge by law.
And yet, we were told time and time and time again from Governor John Bel Edwards, as he raised billions of dollars from Louisiana citizens, that he had scrubbed the budget, that he had found absolutely no fraud, waste, or abuse whatsoever.
It'll be interesting to see what happens to that $172 million once it's returned to the state of Louisiana. Will it go back to the taxpayers? Or will it be hidden away, lost forever?
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Abalone and Stephen Parr on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
take a look, just as an aside, a peek behind the curtain. There you go. Thanks. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. Miss Erin is dog sitting. It's your son's dog, right?
Yeah, Bo.
And he's
my grandpuppy.
Kind of looking for a new owner a little bit. And she
if
says,
someone's looking for, he's a beautiful dog.
She says to me a second ago, "Do you want a dog?" I said, "How big is he?" She said, "He's
big."
This is the conversation. Just stop.
Okay.
Zip it.
All right.
I said, "How much does he weigh?" She said, "He has short hair." I said, "How much does he weigh?" She said, "He's house trained." I said, "Okay, how much does he weigh?" "He's a really sweet dog." I said, "Erin, how much does he weigh?" And she said, "He's 2 years old." "How much does he weigh?"
I don't know. He's big.
145 pounds.
He's a big boy.
And I know a lot of people think Robert...
He's a welterweight.
It's a monster big dog.
And I know a lot of people think Robert exaggerates on some of these stories, which is sometimes the case. But right now, I am testifying that is a real conversation that happened, and I wanted to pull my hair out. You two... just on my own thing, I'm going to take the last 30 seconds here. Between you, Robert J. Wright, singing the wreck of the Fitzgerald, and Erin just doing Erin things, I've literally, when the mics were off, banged my head on the microphone, hoping to knock myself out. It's been one of those days. I'm glad it's over here in about 5 seconds.
Boy.
You two shut up. Hold on. Shut off your mics. I'm taking us home. Just shut up. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Kim Commando, thank God.
You may know your credit score, but do you know your trustworthiness score? The one that Facebook is assigning to all of its users. Kim Commando with your Thursday Consumer Tech Update. Very quietly over the past year, Facebook has been devising a kind of rating system for users. Because it's been absolutely clueless in seeing the difference between fake news and real news, Facebook's management has come up with a reputation assessment. Is the user trustworthy or not? Okay, it's hard to know where to start on this one. After all, we have the 400-pound elephant in the room. That is, Facebook itself has a giant credibility problem. We all remember Mark Zuckerberg squirming on a cushion in front of Congress. And then there's the issue of how Facebook comes up with its trustworthiness score. In short, they're not telling anyone. So I'm going to make this prediction. It won't take very long before the first lawsuits from those deemed untrustworthy to hit the courts. I'm Kim Commando. I've got some big dinner plans for my family coming this week, and it doesn't involve restaurants or takeout or even grocery shopping. Here on the Kim Commando Show each week, I tell you all about simple recipes, gourmet touches and flavors, delivered right to your door with garden-fresh pre-measured ingredients. Just go to HelloFresh.com. Choose from a variety of recipes across veggie, classic, and family plans. Then your meals arrive with easy-to-follow full-color instructions. With HelloFresh, you'll whip up dinner in just 30 minutes or less. And there are lots of one-pot recipes for speedy cooking and minimal cleanup after a busy day. After 2 or 3 weeks of HelloFresh, you'll love your new dinner routine. I know I do, because of how simple and fun it is to cook and enjoy delicious home-cooked meals. For a limited time, get $30 off your first box at HelloFresh.com/Kim, plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/Kim for $30 off your first order. HelloFresh.com/Kim.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of East Texas Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, seasonably hot with sun and a high of 96 today, clear, low 74 tonight, plenty of sunshine and hot, high 100 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.